In the latest crime action movie of 2025, a single mother who was worried about her daughter, who was kidnapped for saving herself. She fought against the black and white two sides. This woman's name is Mo-Lin. She was robbed in the mall. Amina, the 4-year-old daughter, disappeared. Mo-Lin was in a hurry. She called her daughter's name, but she didn't get a response. Mo-Lin was about to collapse. She searched all the way, but she didn't see Amina at all. She called the police as soon as possible. She hoped the police could help her. At the same time, she was very clear that her ex-husband, Kareem, must have stolen her daughter from her. It turned out, when Kareem met her daughter yesterday, she was in a very bad state. When she came back, her daughter told Mo-Lin that her father had been talking to someone on the phone. Mo-Lin thought that Kareem might take her daughter back to Syria. After all, he is a Syrian. He always wanted to take his daughter back to Syria. Mo-Lin hoped the police could check all the airports and bring her daughter back. But there was no federal law that would prevent parents from taking their children away. Mo-Lin collapsed completely and decided to use her own strength to get her daughter back. At the same time, the police were also sure that this was probably done by Kareem. Because his house was empty, the police still found Amina's clothes the day she disappeared. It was like a heavy blow. It hit Mo-Lin hard. She tried to continue looking for Kareem, but the problem was that she didn't even have a way to contact Kareem's family. She could only call a big hospital in Syria and ask them if there was a doctor named Kareem who was a radiologist at Tarab. This is definitely a big trouble. But Mo-Lin and her father never thought of giving up. After all, as soon as they stopped, they were full of their own happiness with Amina. 2 years have passed. Mo-Lin has been living in regret and has not found any news about her daughter. Fortunately, there are still many kind people in society. With the help of everyone, he decided to go to Washington and knock on every door and talk to everyone in the suitcase. She did everything she could to find the treasure she lost. This is not only because of her affection for her daughter, but also because, at this time, Mo-Lin's father's condition was getting worse and worse. He couldn't go with his daughter, but he was very supportive of her decision. But did things really go so well? Mo-Lin has been working hard in Washington for a long time and hopes to seek help from the government. But in the end, she didn't get any positive feedback, which made Mo-Lin very sad. And things have come to this point. She hasn't seen her baby girl for 4 years, 86 days, 4 hours. But Mo-Lin feels that she can't see any little hope. But at this time, a man named Robertson suddenly came to her. "Can I help you with something?" "No, but I might be able to help you." Robertson gave Mo-Lin a business card and claimed that he was doing business with children. As long as Mo-Lin promised to work for him and help him find someone else's child, he would help Mo-Lin find Mo-Lin's child. Mo-Lin was moved. The next morning, she contacted Robertson. Robertson was also very sincere. She not only introduced her partner to him, but also gave him a list of Amina's relevant information. Mo-Lin was in a complicated mood. She couldn't help but collapse when she saw her daughter's photo. But she could understand. "I haven't seen my daughter in 4 years, 86 days, 4 hours. But Mo-Lin didn't understand, why did Robertson suddenly find himself? Robertson said that their team needed a woman, but it's not easy for women to arouse suspicion in their group. Besides, Mo-Lin is still a very strong and capricious person. After all, Robertson gave Mo-Lin a lot of money so that she could pay for her father's treatment. This completely moved Mo-Lin. Their first case also started soon. A woman named Maya found them. She led her son to live alone. The child's father rarely showed up, but not long ago, she suddenly went crazy and said she wanted to get her own child back. Then, she beat Maya to death and took the child to Mexico. No one knows what this feels like more than you, Mara. Damn it, we missed our window. At that time, Carl used a cute puppy to attract Maya's son to an alley. Robertson took the opportunity and took the child away. Mo-Lin was terrified. But as soon as she regained consciousness, she immediately took the child away. She didn't forget to comfort him and make him believe that he was sent by his mother to take him to see his mother.
At the same time, Carl was deliberately making trouble and stopping the pursuit with Robertson to buy time for Mo-Lin to escape. In this way, the child soon reunited with his mother, and Maya hugged her son. Mo-Lin couldn't help but feel happy for them. But when she calmed down, she felt like a mercenary who was working for money. So she was curious about how Robertson started his career. It's simple. That is, he was short of money. Not long ago, he retired from the Marine Corps and lived a very poor life. At that time, someone found him and said that there was a mother in Washington who wanted to get her child back. At that time, he was impressed because the other party gave him too much money. And in the process, he found that he was very suitable for this job and started to form a team to hire Carl. Mo Lin said that she understood. He had a lot of tasks with Robertson later. As time went on, their cooperation became more and more tacit. But even with the help of Robertson and Carl, Mo Lin still couldn't find a clue about her daughter. And even if they were there would be times when the mission failed. At that time, they not only failed to take the target child away, but even almost killed them. Fortunately, the three of them had the main character, so they could resist the enemy's pursuit and successfully escaped. It turned out that this mission was very involved and even had something to do with the CIA. Carl immediately started to report to Robertson. Mo Lin thought about stopping him at first, but he knew that this mission was taken by Robertson behind their backs at the CIA. Now that things are messed up, the CIA fired them. He couldn't help but get angry. I thought we worked for parents. We do. It's still a father getting back his daughter. Who pays us doesn't matter. But no matter what, Mo Lin and Robertson had a good relationship. Later, Mo Lin even opened her heart and talked about her past. She and Carl knew each other in the hospital. Carl was kind and humorous and took good care of her. They started dating naturally. Mo Lin felt an unprecedented sense of security. But when she was pregnant, it wasn't in his plan at first. When she found out that she was pregnant, she almost had the baby. But when she was about to sign for the emergency room, Carl suddenly came over and said they could do it. Everything will be fine. That sincerity moved Mo Lin. She chose to believe Carl. But soon, Carl began to become very strange and often came home late. He even wanted Mo Lin to quit her job. The more Mo Lin said, the more emotional. That fragility moved Robertson. And Robertson's consideration and understanding of Mo Lin also made Mo Lin very useful. So they fell in love at first sight. But Mo Lin didn't know that Robertson was actually hiding something from her. He had been working for the CIA and asked her to get rid of the news about Carl. Robertson was silent. And more coincidentally, Mo Lin accidentally found Carl's whereabouts. This made Mo Lin very excited and wanted to kill Carl right away. But she didn't have much power. She decided to persuade Robertson to take over Beirut's job. It was a little risky, but the client would pay for them to get along and let them enter the country safely. Robertson, of course, disagreed. Lebanon is very unstable now. Beirut has become militarized. The target is still very rich. He will definitely hire a bunch of private bodyguards. They may not be able to get the money and risk their own lives. What's more, their best place to start is a dinner party. They can only get a female guest invitation. This means that Mo Lin has to face all the risks alone. Until he runs away from the dinner party, Robertson thinks they should make a long-term plan. But Mo Lin couldn't stand it. In the 8 years of losing her daughter, she hasn't had a good day. Carl understood her mood very well and immediately helped her persuade Robertson. But who would think that Robertson finally agreed? But Mo Lin received another bad news. That's right, Mo Lin's father is no longer alive. His body wasn't very good at first. It was because he wanted to see Amina again. That's why Mo Lin feels very uncomfortable now. Before he died, her father was still there praying that if he could find Amina in the future, he would tell her he loved her so much. Not long after that, Mo Lin's father passed away. This means that he is the only family left in the world. This time, Mo Lin was urgent to find Amina. She packed up her things and immediately ran to Lebanon with Robertson. At this time, it was the 96th month. In Lebanon, Mo Lin met a nobleman, Dacia. Dacia not only was a friend of Robertson, but also lived in Lebanon for a long time. She soon found the hospital in Mo Lin's mouth. Unfortunately, Karin signed a temporary contract and is no longer working here, but she is in the city. We are going to find him. This gave Mo Lin a lot of strength and decided to focus on work first. After all, they have to get this done first. Mo Lin went to the banquet. Robertson and Kareem were responsible for the reception outside.
Soon, Mo Lin found the target child and won his trust. Unfortunately, when he retreated, Mo Lin was still discovered and almost died. Thanks to Mo Lin's great luck, she was able to escape with the child in the end. Kareem quickly drove away, but she was still found by the pursuers. And if they didn't react quickly, they would have been smashed into pieces. In this way, the three succeeded in saving their lives. The target child also returned to his father, but this is a big deal after all. They have to retreat quickly and can't stay in Lebanon to find Kareem and Amina. This is not the worst. When Robertson went out to communicate, she was found by the people of the CIA. At the same time, Mo Lin and Carl were suddenly knocked on the door. Mo Lin was frightened. Fortunately, the person who came was not the so-called pursuer, but Dacia. And she also found a clue to Amina. This upset Mo Lin. She decided to go to Amina with Dacia. Carl couldn't stop her, so she had to go with him. At the same time, Robertson was also accused that he shouldn't have brought Mo Lin to Lebanon. This would very likely ruin their 8-year plan. On the other hand, Mo Lin successfully got Amina's school address and wanted to run over there and take her daughter away. But who would have thought that the clue providers said clearly that the clue provider would leave immediately? Mo Lin was confused. At the same time, Robertson was about to explode. Dacia asked Robertson to find a way to take Mo Lin away from Lebanon. Otherwise, Mo Lin and his relatives and friends would be in danger. But the problem is that now Mo Lin has successfully seen Amina. How could she agree to leave? She couldn't help getting angry. If Carl hadn't pulled her in and explained that they didn't have any plans now, the reckless action would only ruin this great opportunity. She almost rushed straight to them. Carl tried to persuade Mo Lin, but Mo Lin didn't listen at all. Finally, Carl, who was not prepared, chased Amina behind them. Obviously, Mo Lin wanted to take revenge and took her daughter away at the market. Mo Lin took action and took Amina away at once. Amina was so panicked that she didn't know what was going on. Mo Lin comforted her and claimed that she would never hurt her. She was her mother and she came to take her home. But Amina only said one thing. This is undoubtedly a stab in Mo Lin's heart. But seeing Amina crying so sadly, Mo Lin couldn't help but feel a little sad. Of course, Robertson was even right. He didn't expect that he just went out. Things have developed like this. But now is not the time to quarrel. He quickly wanted to retreat with everyone. And Mo Lin was full of the belief that she would get her daughter. She took a picture of herself and her daughter and tried to wake up her daughter's memory and convince her to go home with her. But Robertson told her that they had to send Amina back to Carl. Mo Lin, of course, didn't want to. She immediately asked Robertson what happened. Robertson couldn't persuade him. He had to give up everything. 8 years ago, Carl was blackmailed and forced to wash money for them. He tried to reach an agreement with the CIA and became an informant. He worked for them. In return, he gets to keep Amina. Forget it, Amina even told Mo Lin that she didn't want to go back to America with her. And Mo Lin was in tears. She felt that her 8 years of hard work was a joke. So she figured it out. She took the initiative to call and meet Carl, and now Carl finally understood how she felt back then. He quickly apologized to Mo Lin and hoped that Mo Lin would forgive herself. But Mo Lin couldn't understand a word. He didn't even understand why Carl hated himself so much. Not only did he steal Amina from himself, but he also told Amina that she was dead. Mo Lin shed tears. In the end, she said that as long as Carl made sure Amina was safe and happy, she could let Amina go back to him. But at the same time, he had to tell Amina everything and let Amina know that he was wrong. Then, he figured out a way to help himself and Amina rebuild their previous intimate relationship. I will, Carl agreed. Mo Lin also said yes and let Amina go back to Carl. Then, Mo Lin and Robertson returned home together. It was a smooth journey. She seemed to have finally let go of the burden. In the following days, although Amina had been living in the Middle East, she often flew to the United States to visit Mo Lin. Mo Lin and Robertson helped a lot of parents who were forcibly kidnapped and saved a lot of broken families. The film ends here.